Hi guys, welcome back to Jurassic World Evolution 3. And in this one, we are going to be building our raptor enclosures. So we worked out last time that we were going to have four. We're going to have Utahraptors, Pyroraptors, Deinonychus and Velociraptor. So this is going to be our area. It's going to be split into four. And I'm just hoping that's going to be big enough. I think it will be. I mean, that's the Spinosaur habitat. That's fairly big. For two large animals. That's the Rex enclosure. So yeah, I think this will be big. So I'll just be the right size, sorry. So I think what I'll do is the first thing is to build fences around the whole thing. So we are going to go large electrified, I think. So if we run it across... Let's get rid of that. So we want, ideally, we need it to run... I want it to actually run straight. Let's, it's quite difficult to judge it, actually. Let's get, if we go about there... I think that looks about right, somewhere near there. And if we bring it down about there, I think... Let's work it from this side upwards. So I was actually concerned about whether this area was going to be big enough. But I think it will. Yeah, I think that's going to be plenty big enough. So what I need to do is I need to drop the edges down because I'm going to have it separated by a similar sort of thing to what I did with the T-Rex paddock. If you remember what we did with that, we built a ditch around it as extra protection. So we're going to do the same with the raptors because obviously they're dangerous. So let's have a look and see how this goes. There we go. We're going to go just across the fences like that. I will build them back up again on the edges, try and get it a little bit more uniform looking. What I do need is to turn down that music. I can hardly hear myself over that. Music volume. Let's go down to about there. I think that's good enough. Right, now that I can hear myself again. That's going quite nicely across there, actually. So I might have to do the same kind of thing along the other side there. I don't mind the fences looking a little bit offset like that. Sort of gives a little bit of realism to them. So I'll just keep the edge of the blue circle moving along the very edge of the fence there. Got to keep in mind how dangerous these animals are. I've also got to separate this into 4 even spaced compartments in a minute as well. Right, I don't quite know why that's gone in sections like that when the rest of it's all gone fairly uniform. So what I do need to do is just sharpen these edges off. So if we put the flattened terrain on there. Difficult to try and gauge what this is doing. It's not quite doing what I want it to. Flattened terrain, that should be working along there, but it's not doing anything. Why is it not working? Or could it be because of slope, I suppose? Yeah, that's it, slope. Right, so there's no way that raptors should be able to jump that high up. Just gives it that extra little bit of realistic look to it. The shade comes quite handy for actually seeing what you're doing. Unfortunately, it's not round every side. Hear the Rexes going up in the background there. I've been thinking about putting a nesting site in for the Spinos and for the Rexes. Make sure that's not getting... Yeah, that's still good. So I think what we're going to do, we work on one environment at a time. I'll split it into the 4. And then we can work it into the biomes. Possibly start off with maybe Velociraptor. And then we'll just decide how to go from then on, which ones we want. It's a shame actually we can't do water in these ditches. There probably is a way actually, but I'm not sure what that way would be. Right, so there we go. So that's ditched the whole area. So now what we want to do is do the 4 fences. So we'll do the same again. Start roughly halfway. Terrain too steep, so I'm going to have to flatten these little areas off a little bit. There we go. So it's going to have to do that as we go on one area per side in order to bring our fence down. So I can put the fence there. Right, that's sort of... It doesn't really look straight, does it? Let's demolish that. We'll start again. Right, so... we want to bring it down at a little bit more of an angle. So let's it keeps snapping to that point there. It keeps doing it. Don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. Let's try it about there. I reckon that might come down somewhere near central. Damn. That last one was at an angle. This is harder than I originally thought it would be. There, so that's I think that's going to be pretty straightforward there. What I can do around these areas is I can put boulders. Oh, stop snapping. I really hate that snapping like that. Right, I'm going to have to do that one at a bit of an angle there, but I will cover that with boulders or something. So there, we've split that nicely in half that way. So now I just need to make sure we get it central on that side. I mean, it is a little bit offside, so if I bring the fence up to about here and bring it across, then that should give them sort of somewhere near a similar area for each of them. So let's go around there. And if I come down, say around about there, there. So now we've got it split off into 4 areas: Velociraptor, Deinonychus, Atrociraptor, Pyroraptor. So I think what we need to do is try and make these places look slightly different. Give them a different sort of environment for each dinosaur. So I think we'll start off with Velociraptor. We'll have a look in a minute and see what they need. First of all, I want to put the viewing galleries in. I think that one to do there. That's got a better view. That one about there. That one there. And that one there. That is going to bug me, but we're going to get away with that by using a rock prop. Like so. So that hides that nicely. And the raptors can't climb up there. That's good. Right, so let's have a look at our raptor compound. First thing I think we need to do is find out what velociraptors need. There they are. Right. So they like mostly pasture. So we do pasture for them. So nice rocky areas, and we'll also give them some trees. Trees are simple because we're going to use trees to actually sort of block their views from each other. Right, so let's do trees up along. up along the edges to sort of cover up the fences a little bit. There we go, that's nice. There we go. Right, let's just go in and grab some trees and try and get some decent sized trees. Just blocks that little bit off. Just trying to see if there's some decent sized trees or if they're all quite small. But, there we go, there's some decent trees. There, that looks pretty good. Right, so now we need to change their area here to pasture. But I actually need to lower this ground again because it's got rid of our ditches. There we go, that's better. Let's see what the view's like from in there. That's sort of a bit abrupt, isn't it? I wish you could make the radius smaller than this as well. I don't like the way that's just dug pits. That doesn't look right at all, does it? It's only on that side that it's done it. The other sides are looking pretty good. Right. Lower terrain to flat. Let's raise that back up and I'll see if I can drop that down again. But this time make it look a little bit... it's still not doing it right, is it? Let's see. Yeah, see that would be better if I didn't have these ridges, and I can't get rid of the ridges. Just doesn't look right. See, it still looks really rough, doesn't it? Let's see how the other ones look. Oh, that's because I haven't got the ditches on this side, have I? I wonder what would happen if I redid all the ditches. Let's have a look. Let's smooth it all back up. No, it's still not going to let me do that there, is it? Right, so I think what I might do is I might do away with the idea of the ditches along these edges. I mean, it seemed like a good idea at the time, but it ain't gonna work. So right, anyway, let's put some pasture down. Right, so now we're going to roughen this terrain a little bit. Looks very bumpy at the moment, but I'm going to smooth that. Right, so let's smooth, but I don't want a large intensity of that, but I do want quite a big radius. So let's just drop it down a couple of clicks on each area. Right, and I'm sort of wondering whether we should raise this area here. Raise it along here a little bit. There we go. Right, let's get some water in there. Raptors aren't going to need deep water. So let's just give them like a little stream or something going through. Then we better give them a bit of a rocky terrain as well. So let's get some rocks in there. There we go. So that's giving it some nice rocky outcrops there. Let's just put some smaller ones. There we go, that's sort of looking quite good there. So we're going to need to put some plant life in amongst that lot. Got a tree in there. Let's get some plants in amongst that lot as well. Even though the raptors will probably hate them. What else? Oh, we could have one of these, couldn't we? Right, so let's see how that's actually looking so far from the view. Yeah, that's not bad.
Many natural systems fall into some sort of hierarchy, and dinosaur behavior is no different. The alpha should be easy enough to identify from observation alone.
There we go. So that's starting to look more more inviting for an animal to live. Yeah, much better. Right, so I think what we will do, we'll put the feeder right in front so the guests can actually see the animals feeding. Right, so we should have everything in there that Velociraptors will need. Right, just making sure that the fence is all the way around and it's all good. Yeah, I'm liking that. Right, so let's breed our Velociraptors. And I'm going to go for the 4 different types. So we're going to get blue, beta, delta, gamma quadrant, and Jeff. Right, so let's modify the genome on this one. Echo, Delta, Charlie, blue. So let's have blue on that one. We raise blue in there. I only want 1 egg though.
Synthesis procedure complete.
There's a lot of intolerance going on, so let's just keep that one because that looks pretty good. So we'll incubate blue in that one. This one. Modify this one. So this one's going to be Charlie. So let's begin that task. Select those eggs. Oh, they've all got negatives. Intolerant, aggressive, tolerant, intolerant, strong. So I think we'll get rid of those ones and we'll just incubate the one. Synthesize the next one. Modify the genome. There's Delta. Let's begin the task for Delta as well.
Complete. Prepare asset.
There we go. We got that one. So we make. Oh, it loses the pattern, doesn't it? Okay, we'll keep him as female. That's fine. And then the final one we'll do as Echo.
Incubation complete. Prepare asset for.
Right. Let's get rid of those eggs. And in this one, I'm going to synthesize some males. Right, so there's the ones from Jurassic Park 3. Quilliam. I believe it's Quilliam. But I really like that pattern. The 1997. Also reminds me of the ones in Trespasser as well. Let's go for that. Right, so I'm going to do all of these as males. And I'm going to do... I think we'll just do 3 males.
Incubation complete. Prepare asset for release. Synthesis procedure complete. Incubation
so
personnel, please stand by.
Let's release them ones via the airlift.
Asset collection request received.
So we'll have to put the males in there first. And then the females can go in afterwards. With Blue. Blue will be in charge, I expect. We know how it goes.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a Velociraptor to the park.
Just notice the one thing I haven't done is put a fence in anywhere.
Asset transportation in progress.
So let's do the gates.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a Velociraptor to the park.
Transportation underway.
There we go. Here comes our first one. So remember, these are all the males going in at the moment. This should give us some kind of idea of whether the environment is right for them or not.
Velociraptor to the park.
Our scientists, and especially our PR team, will no doubt be delighted to have this dino in our collection. The Velociraptor is a real crowd pleaser. It's also among the cleverest of dinosaurs, so keep an eye on it. Seriously, because it is definitely keeping an eye on us.
That is a good looking dinosaur. Right, let's see how he's liking this.
Confirming asset delivery.
He hasn't found the cover yet. There's quite a lot of cover there, to be fair. There goes the other one. There we go. Perfect environment for Velociraptors. That's what I was hoping.
Asset has been transported.
Right. So now we need to release... Right, that should be Blue.
Collecting asset.
So I can only do one of these at a time because they were incubated in different areas. People are enjoying this one by the looks of it. And why not let this
Ladies and
Megalodons?
gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a Velociraptor.
transported.
Historic one. Reporting.
I finally caught one in the act. Excellent. We could be going to Thumbnail City there. Right, where's Blue? No, that's a male. That's a male. Where are you, Blue? Ah, there's Blue. That's because she hasn't even landed yet.
Asset has been delivered.
There we go. Right, that's Blue. Blue is in place.
Asset to be collected.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a Velociraptor to the park.
I like the way they've grouped together.
Assets in the air. En route to pick up the asset.
So it would be nice if the Velociraptors actually hung around in a pack, but I don't know whether they actually will or
We
not.
are pleased to welcome a Velociraptor to the park.
Asset in transit.
Right, so I can now release the last one.
Asset requiring collection.
It annoys me a little bit where the camera keeps jumping back
Asset delivered.
and forth, you know, where you don't want it to. Right, so I better connect up this path.
Asset in transit.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have added a new viewing gallery, ready for you to observe our magnificent animals.
Delivery complete.
Right, there's bugger all to see there at the moment, but doesn't matter. It's all part of the master plan. Let's see if I can...
Delivery has been completed.
So I sort of made it go around the rock, and I... Right, so that should be all the raptors on there now. Right, that's good. I like that. Right, now what we're going to do, before we get on with the next one, I'm going to put a breeding spot here for Spinos. There he is in the water. Elderly! I better get them breeding, don't I? No valid dinosaurs. No valid. No valid. Let's try medium. No valid. No valid. No valid. Can the Spinosaurus not breed then? Perhaps they can't then. I think that the Rexes can though. Let's put one down for the rest. Right, so the Rexes have got one. It says they're elderly. They've got really short lifespans. I don't like that. Right, let's get some breeding areas for Velociraptors. Species isolation. There we go. Let's see if I can change the lifespans. Unlimited. Alright, okay. So it's already on there, so perhaps it just says they're elderly, but they won't actually die. Yeah, so I want to breed my Spinos, but they don't seem to have a nesting area. Um, right, so the eggs found. Right, where's the eggs? My Rexes are breeding. Excellent. Right, so we're going to have little Rexies very soon. So yeah, I'm just assuming then that the Spinos can't breed. I'm sure I've seen little Spinos. Do you know, I'm just going to put one up here. Hey? Just told me I couldn't do it a minute ago. Right, there we go. So the Spinos can breed now. Velociraptors can breed. What could possibly go wrong? Right, let's put some breeding areas down here. I think we'll do a couple in here. Right, there's no valid dinosaurs for small in there. I thought the ornithomimids would have. Let's put one there. Put a couple of those and I've. There we go. Right, so we'll see what ends up breeding in these areas. We need to spruce this up at some point as well, but at the moment, it's all about getting the dinosaurs in. So Velociraptors are done. What we got here? Spinos are breeding. Excellent. Right, so... Oh, how's our birds doing? Forgot all about them. Seem to be thriving. There's our Quetzal. Right. So what do we want next? So we were doing Deinonychus there. Utah's there and Pyro's in there. So let's mix it up a bit this way and let's have a look at what Pyroraptors require. There they are. So they like pasture. So they like deep water. They are loud. Need blowing my eardrums out. So yeah, it's fairly similar to Velociraptors, except these ones like deep water. So that's okay. We can sort out some deep water for them. So I think what we do first, let's make a little bit of hilly terrain for them first. Bring it up a little bit like so. And we put the deep water down like so. And then we just need to pasture this lot. Oh, that's not very good. I want more.
Ah, okay. Now you're breeding Velociraptors. I see. Well, as far as I know, they were the first dinosaur that bred in the wild, despite Dr. Wu's insistence that no modern dinosaur ever would. You know, it seemed so very, very terrifying at the time. Who knew that greater global chaos would soon follow? Well, I suppose I did.
Right, the Edmontosauruses are going to start breeding. So our little Spino. And another one.
Look at that, a juvenile T-Rex. Isn't that wonderful? One of nature's greatest predators, the king of the tyrant lizards. And now you, that is, you're breeding them. Well, that's incredible. Yes, it certainly is, but please forgive me if I don't jump with joy at the prospect.
So what have we got in here? Two unsatisfied species. Oh, they'll be alright. Right, it's all going well. Right, now, is that going to be ideal for Pyroraptors? I think they need a little bit of rocky terrain, don't they? Always need some nice rocks in the area. There we go, that breaks that up a little bit. tree-wise, I quite like that. So let's put a feeder down for him. And I think what we'll do, we'll have 4 Pyroraptors. Right, we can have that for the female. They are really loud. That looks good. That's quite parrot-like, isn't it? So let's go for that. Let's begin the task. How many eggs is that going to give us? 4. That's perfect.
Synthesis procedure.
So we can have 2 males, 2 females. Intolerant, aggressive, nocturnal. Intolerant, fit. Okay, let's begin that incubation on them. So we should be able to release all of these in one go. Oh, that's... Right, so the Pyroraptors are ready to go. So let's get them into their environment.
Picking up asset. En route to collect the asset.
Right, so I need to connect these paths up again.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a Pyroraptor to the park. Ladies and gentlemen,
Transit has
we are
commenced.
pleased to welcome an ornithomimus to the park.
Did my ornithomimuses breed? I didn't think they'd...
Ladies and gentlemen, we have added a new viewing gallery, ready for you to observe our magnificent animals.
Asset being transported.
So there must be... There's the juvenile. Excellent. Right, let's have a look at the Pyroraptors. Let's see what their enclosure looks like. Yeah, it's not too bad. I quite like that.
This one feels like it's straight out of legend. Get this. A forest fire sweeps through southern France, and what's found in the aftermath? The first discovered remains of a Pyroraptor. One heck of an origin story, right? And one heck of a dinosaur. Oh, glad to have it with us.
That is very parrot looking. Right, let's see how he likes his missing prey. No, there is prey in there. Cover is okay. Deep water he hasn't found yet. And pasture, there's loads of pasture, mate.
Transporting asset.
We'll give him a little while to get used to it. So the next one we want after that then is Deinonychus. So let's have a look what Deinonychus requires. There's Deinonychus. Right, I need to have a look at the info on it. Ah, these like wetland. Okay, so that's a bit different. That's good. So a little bit of cover, a lot of wetland, normal water. Doesn't need to be anything too much. Okay, so yeah, I think we can sort this one out. Okay, so let's just let's see if we can get some difference between the males and the females here. Feels like green colour on a dinosaur. Let's have a look and see what the patterns look like. That's quite good. Yeah, let's go for that on the males. And on the females, we'll go with the green, but let's give them the... Let's give them that. So let's so yeah, the males, there's a little bit of difference. I quite like that. It's not huge amounts, but I quite like that. Now let's hope we can get 4 of these. 5, okay.
Synthesis procedure complete. Incubation.
So let's go 2 males and 3 females, and we'll have 1 male with the intolerant and 1 female with the intolerant. Right, so let's have a look. So we need wetland in there for these.
Delivery complete.
Groundwater, wetland. Alright, okay. Right, so let's get some nice wetland in there. And let's get bog in there as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a Pyroraptor to the party.
Right, that's got the bases of it.
Asset has been collected.
So for this one, instead of going up all the time, I think we'll lower the terrain. And we'll put some water down here.
Confirming asset delivery.
There we go, a couple of nice waterfalls for them. Yeah, I like that. Little Edmontos. Right, I just don't want the breeding to get out of control. Right, let's put some rocks up here. Hang on, I gotta see this. The Dreadnoughtus are bred. There they are, 2 of them. If we get too many, I'm gonna have to I'm gonna shut them down, aren't I? Right, so the Deinonychus can get down in there, okay. Let's see if I can I don't want to lose those waterfalls, that's the thing. No, that wasn't quite what I wanted. That's right, gives it a rough look. Let's have a few more rocks, I think. Thing is with these, I don't like to plan too much. I like to just go with the flow. See what looks good in the long run. You know, if it ends up not looking good, then we can just delete it. There we go. So let's put the Pyroraptors in there. See how they like it.
Acknowledging asset collection request. En route to pick up the asset.
Right, did I put a feeder in there yet? No, I didn't, did I? Let's there we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a Deinonychus to the park.
Asset in transit.
That's the Pyroraptor. Velociraptors are happy.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a Deinonychus to the park.
Well, that's pretty awesome that they swim.
Asset in transit.
Better put a nest in sight for them, haven't we? Pyroraptors, no requirements. Let's just chuck one there.
You know, I have a real soft spot for the Deinonychus. Of course, that's exactly the spot it would target with those massive claws if I ever got too close. But still.
Where is he? I can't see him.
During most of your tour,
There he is.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome the Deinonychus to the park.
Asset transportation underway.
Not more ornithomimids.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome an ornithomimids to the park.
That's going to get quite it's going to get quite packed up here, isn't it? So what I might have to do in the long run is make an actual enclosure just for hadrosaurs, and I'll make quite a big one.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a Deinonychus to the park.
I quite like that. I quite like the Deinonychus spot. What I need to do really is smooth this bit down for viewing purposes, because it won't be very
Asset has been delivered.
won't really sort of be very visible to anybody who's looking
Ladies
at
and
him there.
gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a Deinonychus to the park.
So that should make the view a bit easier.
Asset being transported.
So let's have a look at that. Yeah, that slopes down better. Although I can't see shit at the moment, but they're out there. So, we've now got 3 of the 4 biomes done. So we've got Velociraptors, Deinonychus, Pyroraptors, and now what we need is Atrociraptors. So we need to have a look and see what kind of terrain we need for them. Right, let's find them. There's Utah Raptors. Morris Intrepidus, which is a tiny little animal. Well, it was in the film anyway. Atrociraptors, there they are. Right, let's have a look at theirs. Red, Panthera, Ghost, and Tiger. There's some nice patterns on them. That I like. Let's make them quite brightly coloured. The patterns aren't all that distinct. Let's try that. Right, we'll begin the task. Hopefully there'll be about 4 eggs. 4, nice. So we go 1 of each. So we got an aggressive male, an aggressive female, placid male, placid female. Do you know what would have really helped if I'd have actually looked at what kind of area they need? Where are you? Right, let's have a look. So they need pasture, water, not much cover. So there's not much difference with these ones than with the Velociraptors and the Pyroraptors, really. So let's have a look and let's set this to pasture. What should I do to... Should I make theirs more rocky than anything? So
Confirming asset delivery.
I'm going to drop this area down a little bit. There we go. Let's give them just some... I'm going to put a pond up this way here. I think that works, doesn't it? I might need to just smooth that area off there. That's better. See, I don't like that now. Just doesn't look right. It was a good idea at the time, but... Right, so we need to put some pasture in there. So let's put some grassland. And we'll intermingle it a bit with some of this taiga. There we go, that's looking quite nice. Right, so we need something to spruce up their living space a little bit. So they do need some cover. So I think we'll do some cover up here. Let's go... Do we have some woodland cover? That ain't bad. Right, I think I'll put some rocks down by the water. So some more rocks around this bit, I think. Don't need to be too big.
Gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome an Edmontosaurus to the park.
There, that's not looking too bad. So I'm going to put them in there and see how they get on. See if I need to change anything. Now I know it's not exactly the most exciting looking environment, but I just need it to be slightly different than the other ones.
Heading to collect the asset. Asset requiring collection.
Now, did I remember to put the feeder in there? So let's make sure they've all got a feeder. They got a feeder. They got a feeder. Actually, I'm going to move their feeder.
We are pleased to welcome an Atrociraptor to the park.
Because they'd have to come all the way around there for feeding on that one. Although that one seems to be quite happy to do it.
Asset transportation underway.
Missing water. So they need a bit more water. Okay, I'll tell you what. We'll bring some water in there.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome an Atrociraptor to the park.
Transit has commenced.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome an Atrociraptor to the park.
Asset has been collected.
Right, so it's looking good. Wow, there is too many in there. I'm going to have to remove the...
Underestimate the Atrociraptor and it could be the last thing you ever do. This dinosaur is a lethal predator. And worse, I've heard rumors of them getting trained to attack specific targets. We should give our animals a better life than that.
Asset in transit. Transportation complete.
Right, there's one of them. Let's see. Still exploring at the moment, but... should be alright. Right, I need to get rid of that nest.
Ladies and
There we go. So I don't really
Has
want
been
anything more in
transported.
there for a little while. I haven't really checked in on my therizinosaurs and stegosaurs. Stegos seem okay. Missing bits. Right, so where's my therizinos? There's one there. That one's asleep.
Asset delivery confirmed.
They seem quite happy. How are my trikes doing? Where's my little baby Spino? Can't see the little one anywhere. There he is. Let's check in on the Rex. I always like to look around first, see if I can just see him by myself. Oh, there he is, asleep. Right, let's go. What was I doing? Trikes. Right, so we're definitely going to have to make a hadrosaur area and move all the hadrosaurs out of here. Right, it looks like our Pyroraptors are going to start breeding. Let's see how they like their hair at the moment. Have I not got a feeding thing in here? It might be helpful if I actually feed these animals, wouldn't it? There we go, they're happy. So there we go. There we've got the 4 environments for 4 different raptors. Where's my raptors? Come on. Let me see one from up here. Right, so let's put a Deinonychus nest down. Did I already have one here? What about my pyros? I think I've got a nesting area for pyros, haven't I? Yeah, there we go. And nothing for my Atrociraptors, so let's put something at the back here for them.
Hey, that nest looks pretty cozy. If the dinosaurs aren't into it, I might crawl in and take it for a nap test drive myself. That was a joke, if it wasn't obvious.
Right. So the lagoon. How is the lagoon looking? Dunkleos are getting elderly, but they're happy. So where's my Moses? Mega Moser, there we go. Doesn't like being in with anything else. So I might have to make a specific mosasaur attraction. I just want to have a look. Let's have a look what. So we could do Chronosaurus as well as Mosasaurus. See, the Chronosaurus I like because it's very similar to the Liopleurodon. And I've just realised that you can turn the animals around and look at them. Excellent. So I've got, I think the only animals I haven't got is Chronosaurus and Attenborosaurus. So we might have to have a look at that at some point as well. Let's just check out the Therazinos. They were sleeping last time I looked at them. They're really good looking animals. Right, so I'm getting myself distracted again. So we've now got our 4 biomes for that. So what do we want to do next? What's the next animal that we want to actually bring into this park? I think we better have a look in the little pyros.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome you, Pyroraptor, to the park.
Right, we haven't had any Velociraptor young yet, have we? Hang on, saying that, perhaps we have. Oh, we have. I must have missed that. Excellent. Right. So I'm going to let these populations breed a bit, get a decent sized population going, and then I'll remove the nests once we've got quite a few. But I think we're all right at the moment. Let's have a look over the top. Blimey, we got loads of Velociraptors. The Atrociraptors haven't started breeding. Deinonychus haven't. But I think it's just a matter of time there, isn't it? And we will get something eventually. Right, so as I said, we're going to go and have a look and see what other animals we can make. Let's go have a look in there. Right, we've been doing a lot with carnivores. Now, I've got to say, I do want to do somewhere for Carnotaurus. Let's arid wetland. So, do we do that now, or do we have a look at Another herbivore. Archaeornithomimus. We've got the Ornithomimus at the moment. So I wonder if we could actually make another enclosure for large sauropods. I'll get the Dreadnoughtus and the Brachiosaurs out of the enclosure they're in now. Move them to one of their own, which will have to be a nice big one. Then that one can be left for the Hadrosaurs and the Ornithomimids. I think that sounds like a plan, to be honest. Because then perhaps I can introduce some of the other Hadrosaurs. We've got Coryphosaurus there, which I haven't got any of. Eddies I've got. We could even put some Iguanodons in there. I know they're not Hadrosaurs, but they're, you know, they're close. We got Myosaurus. They can go in there. Mutaburosaurus. Olorotitan. We could do some Pachycephalosaurs at some point as well. Patagotitan. Nice little sauropod there. Well, I say little sauropod, so quite a big sauropod. Psittacosaurus. Sinoceratops. See, I don't like these mashed up ones. I don't like them. I prefer to keep it to what it should be. Syntaeosaurus as well. So yeah, it's Sinoceratops, Styracosaurus, Triceratops. But they haven't got my favourite, the Pachyrhinosaurus. Oh, Microceratus. There's Kentrosaurus. We can do some of those in with the Stegosaurs. So I'm wondering, actually, we could put some, we could make an enclosure for Gallimimus, move the Ornithomimus out of the Hadrosaur enclosure, give them a place on their own. All sounds good, right? Baryonyx and Suchomimus. I'd like to have both of them. They might actually cohabitate, them two. Haven't got Ankylosaurus yet. Chunkingosaurus, we can put that in with the Stegosaurs. So the Stegosaurs really need to have their own enclosure. Take them out of that, out of the Therizinosaurus enclosure. Spinosaurus. Like that. So the question is also, Allosaurus. Got to have Allosaurus. Albertosaurus. We've already got a Tyrannosaur, so we don't really need to rush for that. Acrocantho. We got Comphis, we got Coelophysis, Dilophosaurus. So we got Indoraptor and we got Indominus Rex. From the films, I don't know yet. I don't know yet whether we'll actually make those. Dimetrodon Oviraptors. I definitely want a small area for Oviraptors. Let's have a look what sort of thing they like. So they got cover, water, ground leaf for 75%. Meat eaters. So yeah, they doesn't look as though they require too much, to be quite honest. I might do the Giganotosaurus. I mean, the Giganotosaurus would go well as you sort of go down this way. You pass by the Spinosaurus, you go past the Tyrannosaurus, and then you've got the Avery there, but we've got nothing in this area here. So we could put a Giganotosaurus in here, couldn't we? So I'm wondering whether I could run a fence across there and then maybe brick this area off and put some more decorative areas in there to break it up, and then actually have like a wall going around there with an entrance where you walk through the entrance and then you're into the Giganotosaurus paddock. Now it doesn't have to be massive. Let's see if we can just work this out size-wise with the others. Let's so if we started it about here, brought it across there, and then brought it round there, that'd be fair enough size for a pair of Giganotas, wouldn't it? I think so. So let's run a fence around here. We can do that first, and then if I do this is the thing, is trying to work out what sort of wall see, they're tiny little walls. I'd be there for absolutely hours building that wall. It's not something I really want to do while I'm trying to do an interesting video for you. Otherwise we'd just be here for hours with little blocks of wall going down. Would not be exciting at all. Atrociraptors claimed a nest. Okay. Right, so I'll tell you what I could do. I could do it with trees, couldn't I? Just trying to see. I just want to try and figure out something to put in here that's going to make it look more park-like, rather than just paths going straight round everything. Yeah, again, that could be the sort of thing to break it up, but it's... But if you could do walls... If you could do actual walls like that... Because that doesn't look like... I don't know. I suppose I could use that, and I could put a fence, a sort of gateway up there, But what I'd really want is the sort of Jurassic Park entrance. But I don't even know whether that's an actual thing, is it? Whether you can actually get the main gates. There's not really anything in there. Statues. Signs. Stego, Cretaceous catch. No, these are all signs for shopping and stuff like that. I mean, a lot of this can be put on afterwards. Oh, hang on. Oh, I didn't realise we had these sort of signs. Okay, that's interesting. Just trying to see if there's a way I can rotate that. But it doesn't matter, I'm just messing around with that. I don't need to waste time on that now. Gantries. Girders. Planters, fences. Awnings. Windows, doors, columns, trims. No, that's just all for lagoon decorations. Okay. Keep finding different things as I go through, so so I think what we do, we put the
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome an Atrociraptor to the park.
put the heavy fencing up here. Let's see if we can try and get it to run sort of in line with that fence as best as we can. That one didn't go quite straight, did it? No. Right, let's see how that looks. Okay, so again, I'd like to attempt to do the ditches here, but are they going to work? See, that seems to be going quite smooth. See, it's weird the way sometimes it works nicely and other times you can't get it to do what you want it to do. See, this environment is going to be actually looking down on the dinosaurs. So they're way below, so it's not a matter of them being able to get up these banks.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a Pyroraptor to the park.
I think my Pyroraptors are breeding quite profusely. Right, there we go. That's quite a nice ditch around there. So what I want to do is lower the terrain to about there. Then what do I want to do? I want to there we go. So I want to go down to about there. There we go. So we'll be actually looking down into their environment. So there's no possible way that they can get out. So I'm not going to leave it all flat like that. It is going to be it's going to actually look like a proper terrain once I've done with it. But I just want it to be way below the level of the viewer, as it were. Have to raise that a little bit. Let's just drop that down. Get that back up. There we go. Right, there we go. So there's the gig's territory. So let's have a look what the gig actually requires. There he is. So it's cover, pasture, wetland, and water. So it needs a little bit of wetland. That's fine. We can do a little bit of wetland in there, can't we? So it wants pasture. So let's cover the whole thing in pasture to start off with. There we go. Right, now we're gonna roughen it up. Right, smoothing that off a little bit. Right, let's I think what we'll do, we'll have a pool around there, bring it around like that, and then we'll have another pool around there. It didn't say deep water, did it? I better check that now before I make a mistake. No, just normal water. Right, so so I do need some wetland. So I'm going to do wetland around here to add in with the water. Right, let's get some rocks in there. That gives that like a little bit of a sort of step-like effect. But let's get rid of let's get some more rocks out to get rid of the uniform look. It's okay putting these here because they're still too high for anything to climb out. It just breaks it up a little bit. There we go. Now, do I need to put a bit of tree cover there? Might be an idea just in case. That looks quite nice. So let's chuck a feeder in there. And then let's get us some giggos on the go. Now there's no gate going into this place. I might have to do a gate there and then like a slope going down. So if I do one of the old style double gates like that, oh that's alright, it's pretty much done it anyway. That's good, I'm happy with that. Now, am I happy with the way that is? I think so. We'll see how the giggers like it. And if they want anything changed, we can have a look at it after that. Right, let's go for the 2022. And on this one, we'll give it a completely different look. Oh, I like that. That's quite good. That's quite a good pattern, and that's quite a good pattern. I think I'm going to go for that. So let's begin the task. Right, that's good. We get 2 eggs out of that. So we do a male and a female in there. Excellent.
Synthesis.
Right, one male, one female, aggressive female. I'm not saying anything. And we'll begin the incubation. So, this is how the park's looking. There's the entrance to get in. Straight away into the herbivore enclosure. Then across there you can have a look at the stegosaurs and therizinosaurs. Then you can go and have a look at the aquatics. Then you can look at the spinosaurs. Then the star attraction, the T-Rex. Then you can go up and have a look at the birdies. And the Giganotosaurus. And you can check out all 4 species of raptors. And let's not forget the little Coelophysis and Compsognathus down there. And we still got quite a bit of area to cover. So there's still quite a lot that we can actually do. Quite a lot that we can get achieved. Right. Let's see if they're going to enjoy this.
Picking up asset. En route to pick up the asset.
I did wonder for a minute then why there was 3 helicopters.
Giganotosaurus to the park.
Transit has commenced.
Let's see how our little juvenile's doing. He seems happy enough.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome Giganotosaurus to the park.
There's our Giga.
Asset in transit.
Drop down here so we can see them when they arrive.
A classic example of an apex predator, the Giganotosaurus. This is one of the largest terrestrial carnivores. They certainly named it well.
Right, there should be enough wetland and there should be enough cover. So it's literally just a cover now. But there's a lot of trees around here, so there must be enough cover for them. There, they like it. That's good. Right, we need a viewing platform. I want... I haven't used one of these domes yet, so I wonder... Right, okay, so that goes on the... So that goes on the path then. Right, our Velociraptors are maturing. Right, just for the time being, I'm going to stick a path straight in there.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have added a new viewing gallery, ready for you to observe our magnificent animals.
During most of your tour, the appropriate information will be automatically selected and displayed for you. Simply touch the area of the screen displaying the appropriate icon.
It's not the best view of them. What about if I put one of these over this side?
Ladies and gentlemen, we have added a new viewing platform, ready for you to gain an elevated view of our wonderful dinosaurs.
That's a better view, that's not bad. So we got yet another exhibit. It's all looking good. I think we should put a breeding thing in, see if we can... encourage them to breed as well. Right, now I need to see how many raptors we got on the go, because we may need to... They're not breeding at all. So we'll get rid of the Velociraptor nest. Because we don't want any more Velociraptors at the moment. And I think the same with the Pyroraptors. I think we got plenty of those. Atrociraptors are breeding. I wonder why they're not breeding. So I wonder if it would help if I made a slope there, because perhaps they can't really sort of get up to that area. No, that's no good. That would make it better, wouldn't it? So let me smooth that off. Make it look a little bit more natural. And let's there we go. So they should be able to get up there, shouldn't they? We'll try it out with them later anyway. Let's see how the giggers are liking it. What are they missing? Prey. Didn't I put any? Yeah, I did. I put one in there, look. Is he hunting? Yeah, there we go. Right, I'm going to put another feeder in for them, just in case one isn't enough. Yeah, that looks better. They seem happier. So there we are. We've done quite a lot with carnivores, so... Did I just miss a T-Rex hunting then? Where's little Rexy? There's little Rexy. Excellent. Right, so I think that's where we're going to leave this one. And when we come back, I'll have to decide if we're going to do something more with herbivores or whether we're going to do a little bit more in the way of carnivores. I'm sort of thinking that we really need to think about a separate sauropod environment. Maybe put sauropods in with trikes and get them away from the hadrosaurs and just have the hadrosaur enclosure just for them alone. I might even move the Ornithomimus out and put them with some Gallimimus over here, maybe. Give them a nice big area where they can run. Sounds like a plan. So yeah, so if you want to join me for that one, remember to like and subscribe to the channel and all that jazz. And I will see you on the flip side. I'll catch you all later.